Play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
a team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bomb stats, Dingo gonna find Rainer.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jason and we've got a Division B East match coming for you here tonight. We've got the real ultimate mosh pit versus Rush B. Should be quite a interesting matchup. Rush B right about even so far in the season, kind of hanging out around the middle in terms of their win-loss record for sure. The real ultimate mosh pit having a pretty good season, and looks like these guys are ready to go. So let them know I am ready to go. Looks like we're going to our first map here, which is Tomb of the Spider Queen. And one of my favorite maps personally. I've seen that one pretty consistently across NGS to be one of the more popular matches for sure. And two pretty storied teams here, of course. Alrighty. It looks like everybody's throwing out the readies, so we're going to be starting in just a moment here. I want to thank everybody for stopping on by. It's what should be a pretty fun match coming up for you, I do believe. This is, you know, again, two pretty storied teams. The real Ultimate Mosh Pit has come through in many different forms and with many different people attached to its name throughout the last few seasons of NGS and beyond in other amateur leagues. Rush B, of course, with a tremendous season last year before jumping up to B this season. So it should be very interesting to see how these two teams match up and collide. Meanwhile, here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, of course, very wave clear intensive map. So we're going to be looking to see what these teams plan and attempt to build right away. Going to come out with the Anduin ban. Is the real ultimate mosh pit. Maybe a little bit of scouting there. I am still getting alert pings, which I'm sure are going through to you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and close out Discord for now, so you guys don't have to listen to that. So don't at me, because I can't hear you. Actually, that's not true. My phone will still go off if you decide you need to at me. But we do have Kael'thas being banned out by the real Ultimate Mosh Pit after the Ana ban gets thrown out here by Rush B. So pretty regular bans. I feel like Kael'thas on this map in particular is kind of difficult to deal with because of the pokey nature of the team fighting here, the kind of the long, drawn-out rotational phases here. You got very good poke, very good siege, and we're going to have New Girl banned out, because I just cannot pronounce her name no matter how much I try. I'll trip on it every time. But either way, we're not going to see her. Has it been 2 weeks since she came out? I guess it has. Boy, time flies when you're not having matches every week. It's been a bit of a dry spell for us over at the Regen Blue Camp while our good captain and buddy Mongoose is on vacation out in Europe. Shout out to Mongoose, by the way. Hope you're having safe travels and a lot of fun out there, bud. I know you're not watching, but, you know. We got Johanna coming out here after a Sylvanas first pick for the real Ultimate Mosh Pit. Rush B responding with the biggest wave clear tank in the game. and the Gul'dan, so lots and lots of wave clear prioritized right away by Rush B. Sylvanas, not the worst wave clear in the game, particularly if she takes Unstable Poison at level 4, but definitely not nowadays well known for her wave clear ability. More of a team fighter, great siege. Speaking of siege damage, here comes Greymane along with that Anubarak pick. Anubarak, I feel like, has fallen off a little bit in terms of popularity and value, but still a solid tank. And very good setup for Greymane's burst on the backside. Sylvanas also bringing a decent amount of burst to the table, especially depending on what build you end up going with her. I see the Tyrande banned out from Rush B, which is a pretty good combo with damage follow-up and the Hunter's Mark to follow up all those stuns from Anubarak. Meanwhile, Hanzo banned out on the other side. Hanzo pretty good in the rotation game. The vision control he gives is good for this map, so I really like that ban. He's also got good interruptibility for these turn-ins, which is something you really like to see. 2 more picks coming up for Rush B. Still need their healer, their solo laner. They're going to go double backline here with the Junkrats. A very poke-oriented, very patient playstyle from Rush B. And the Deckard coming out as the healer. So just in general, Deckard brings a lot of sustained healing. Good CC follow-up with that scroll. And the slows are nice as well. And the Chen going to be coming out here for the side of the real Ultimate Mosh Pit. Along with the Stukov as the healer. So again, you know, Stukov pretty good in rotations, brings a lot that you want to see on this map, and just kind of a good power healer. And the Leoric is going to finish things up for Rush B as their solo lane. I really like that pickup. It's a good counter. It's an interesting matchup into the Chen. You know, a lot of it's going to depend on whether or not Leoric can hit his Drain Hope and keeps the sustain up in that lane. But of course, it is a hilarious matchup in Carbot animations, which always makes me smile, as a reference back to that. But either way, here we go into game number 1. Shout out who you are cheering for out there in chat. Hashtag Trump versus hashtag Rush B. Let's see who you are going for tonight. Want to thank everybody for coming on out and watching here on a lovely Tuesday evening here on the Nexus. Also, shout out to Sven, who followed earlier. Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for that follow. All right, and in we go for game number 1. On the left, we've got the real Ultimate Mosh Pit. The perennial Trump Captain Dankstrom going to be playing the Anubarak. We've got the AFK healer, hopefully not AFKing too much on the Stukov. Raoul the Dog going to be playing the Greymane. We've got Idioms playing the Chen, and Synchrony is going to be on the Sylvanas. You know, on the right, we've got Rush B. We've got Fatlock playing the Leoric. We've got Great Putu going to be on the Junkrat. Dominator going to be playing that Johanna. We've got T-Lane on the Genji. And last, but certainly not least, we've got Arcane being playing the Deckard. It would be weird if Arcane was being played by Deckard. That would be strange. But right away, big damage coming out onto T-Lane. The healing is good, though, on the other side from Deckard. On the same side, I should say. On the back end. And the rotation game is on. Slight advantage as tons of poke being put down onto Dominator, but a nice concussion mine there from Great Putu, putting Dankstrom way out of line there with where he wanted to be. He was able to get out though. And again, a little quicker on the rotation so far is the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, but Rush B making up for it with their massive, massive amount of wave clear. Rao gonna have to jump out of that bush up top. Get chased away by a bunch of corruption damage. And the impending Johanna. Meanwhile, down bot, we see the back and forth in the solo. Wow, Synchrony has snuck around and is now working on this bottom camp. Very, very sneaky, sir. Rush B trying to take advantage of the 3v4 up here. Trying to get that turn in initially, but ultimately not quite able to finish it off. Meanwhile, Synchrony will finish off the camp down here before anyone is the wiser over on the side of Rush B. And now we've got 2v1 here as Synchrony does come in on the Fatlock. Gonna deal a decent amount of damage, but not quite enough to take him out there. But now they're both gonna be pushing, and we're gonna have Gul'dan rotate down to respond. Meanwhile, Dankstrom jumping onto the back line there, trying to set something up. Actually gets concussion mine back for his efforts. And now we're going to see Synchrony rejoining the 4-man up here, as will Ty-Lane. T-Lane, Ty-Lane. I'm going to go with T-Lane. Charge in, and ooh, the follow-up is good there from the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. That's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for the damage to go down right after those stuns come out from Dankstrom. That was well communicated, well executed. And that's first blood for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. Junkrat caught out a little bit up here, but did have the trap sitting in the bush. Not to mention that concussion mine, well placed for defensive purposes there. Both teams scoring a decent amount of turn-ins so far here. Both teams now are in range to get that final turn-in for that first set of Web Weavers. The AFK healer trying to put in his 3, and will successfully do so. They decided that was blocking those 3 was not worth committing to there. Meanwhile, interesting rotation as, Arcane is in all kinds of trouble. He's going to go down. But interesting rotation. They rotated Gul'dan to bottom so Fatlock could back. I guess that would be the one big weakness in this matchup, is he is mana-based, while Chen can just sit down here drinking all day, merrily going on about his business. That's Fatlock going to look to get a fat turn-in. Though not quite enough for the actual Web Weaver itself. Now, both teams very, very close. As we see the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit over here grabbing their camp real quick. A little bit of back and forth all across the map so far. Oh, meanwhile, Dankstrom jumping in on the backside. Another great silence from that lurking arm to follow it up. But ultimately, Gul'dan makes it out. Dankstrom now trying to score the turn-in for his effort, but a nice block there from Great Putu. But ultimately, Dankstrom does end up getting the turn-in. So we're going to see the Web Weavers coming out shortly after the camp in mid, pushing in a little bit. So we'll have to see where the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit wants to go for this. Fatlock, meanwhile, having to hit the B button at a very inopportune time here. But what can you do when you're at that low of health? It's either back and then eat a little bit of damage and maybe mount a defense after that, or you could just feed. Not exactly what most people would call a viable option. Meanwhile, Focus from Trump up on the top side here. So they're going to get the entire front wall and maybe look to get more. As the dive in from Dankstrom actually goes a little bit past the Junkrat there. But ultimately they are able to push this in a little further. Get the well. But otherwise, a very good defense. A little bit of damage up top, but great defense in mid, solid defense in bot. Batlock coming back once again. That is going to give the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit the level 10 race advantage for sure at this point. We're going to get it very soon. So this will be a good opportunity for them to block. Though I don't think they'll be able to score another turn in before Rush B can get that level 10. So they're going to have the opportunity to force here. The charge in and actually finds the double stun. And that is going to be Junkrat going down here. Very nice collapse there. But mainly that's Dankstrom and Synchrony being well synchronized, if you will. That is a Q build Sylv, so good 1v1 damage. But meanwhile, Fatlock is stuck way out in the middle of the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit as they are diving in here. I'm not sure everybody's going to get out of this situation either. After that, another great stun combo from Dankstrom as the chase is on. Idioms popping the Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're going to get another pick. Make it 3, 4 if you want to count that Leo earlier, which I do. That's going to be a 4 for nothing. And Leo is now back, but is going to have to Wraith Walk away. So not only does the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit get the huge block there over the bottom turn-in and prevent the first set of Web Weavers from coming out, they also are going to get multiple kills. Now a level and a half lead, and they're looking to score the next turn-in at this point. They're now just 6 away. They're getting the bottom camp while clearing out the mid there. We're doing a great job of watching out for both of these turn-in locations while Dankstrom scores the turn-in. Oh, and Synchrony with that Haunting Wave just in time. And the AFK healer with a very nice swipe out of that Entomb. Fatlock got him with the Entomb, but the AFK healer shaking him off like Terry Crews. Get off me! Synchrony, meanwhile, possessing. Getting these waves even bigger to push in. And now has the shutdown to make this even more scary of a push. As if Sylv Greymane needed any more addition to it, along with a big Webweaver wave. You've even got Dankstrom throwing out beetles now as they go to the front wall of the keep. Meanwhile, look at Fatlock on the backside. Gonna have to Wraith Walk back into his own area there. Dankstrom going in deep. Finds a little bit of CC, but the Web Wrap goes down on the Joe. And we do see just blow up there onto the Junkrat. Nice dive coming in again from Idioms. The Stay a While and Listen slows the advance. And now actually they have turned this around. They are on the chase here. The AFK healer getting low. Synchrony also taking a ton of damage. They are going to turn around though. Nice root. And Gul'dan actually going to fall as Idioms is still dancing on the back line there. Leo is going to fall. They got Greymane a little bit earlier in this fight, however. So it is a 1 for 3, but Junkrat is now back. And this is just the fight that never ends. Look at this. The Black Arrow trait is back up. That's how long this has been going on. Johanna goes down. And the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit gonna look to get themselves the keep now. Entomb comes out, but only finds Dankstrom. And Dankstrom's alright with that. Finally, the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit gonna relent here and back up. But they got a decent amount of damage on that top keep. They're even going to chip away a little bit at the mid. Just kind of punishing Rush B for keeping maybe a few too many people up top to clean that mess up. I mean, Leo is literally in a janitor skin. Probably could have handled it. But Rush B going to go ahead and go on there. Both teams actually going on their camps. Healing up, getting their mana ready for the next big fight. We'll see if they can make another fight that lasts as long as that last one. Felt like that was like half the match. Both camps pressing into the mid, and both teams committing heavy numbers to try and get an advantage in this push. Junkrat, it was down in the bot lane, but now is rotating up. Looks like we're going to get another 5v5. This is the opportunity that Rush B needs to try and force here if they can. They do find the silence onto Dominator, though, but he is able to walk away. But here comes the Entomb paired up there with the Riptide, and Chen is going to fall. The AFK healer also getting very low, trying to run away. Dankstrom going to have to burrow charge out, but they turn around and get the Gul'dan on the backside. Watch out. You got to watch these damage dealers. And the silence comes out of the cocoon. Johanna goes down. And the real ultimate mosh pit with a big turn there. Now with the black arrow, going to put a little bit of damage on this mid fort. Gets the well at the very least. That's a nice turn by the real ultimate mosh pit. They, especially again, the damage dealers, Synchrony, now here in the mid lane and down bot, Raoul the dog. They just saw you know, a squishy target a little bit too far out, jumped right in on it, and got the kill, turned the whole thing around. If you can get Gul'dan down or Junkrat, it's really going to hinder what Rush B can do. They don't have a lot of kill potential outside of their sustained poke damage dealers, trying to wear down the real ultimate mosh pit, but right now this is just kind of testing the waters. They got level 16, they kind of poke in, they're kind of daring Rush B to come up and fight them at this point. I like that, if not, even if it's not that successful, which it was there, I like that as a check, you know, just check them every once in a while, keep them honest. Force them to push you out of those situations when you've got the advantage. And speaking of which, here it is. They are forcing big time. We do get a big Horrify onto Dankstrom, and they are going to get the kill onto Dankstrom in that situation. And now they are on the chase, but at this point, Entomb is down, and a lot of their ultimates are down. Yeah, very nice separation there. That was really made. Pretty much all of that play was made by T-Lane and that Horrify. Dankstrom not able to get out just in time. Rush B still looking for that first turn in. Gonna try to get the turn in here on top, and Great Potu is gonna get that turn in indeed. So first set of Web Weavers coming out here for Rush B. Now, of course, these Web Weavers are going to be a little bit stronger than the Web Weavers we've seen come out for the real Ultimate Mosh Pit thus far. A little bit later game objectives. Level 16 now in as well, but big arrow on the backside, and Idiom's going in, but Leo gets caught out in that silence while this is going on. And now Gul'dan is going to go down. Web Wrap goes down onto Deckard, and just like that, the real Ultimate Mosh Pit coming in and making the plays as big Riptide are going to hit all 5, but it's not going to be enough. Deckard is going to go down. And this is the real Ultimate Mosh Pit pushing in for a keep, maybe looking to end the game here. Deckard is down for 34 seconds. Gul'dan for another 20. Synchrony is going to get caught there in the Entomb, but is able to Haunting Wave away. And again, you know, the real Ultimate Mosh Pit, ultimately, they're going to back up. But I like them making that play. make Rush B force you out. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work out, you call the B, you're good to go. Dominator, though, uh-oh. Is way out in the middle of nowhere here. Does have Iron Skin available, we'll pop it. But it's not going to be enough to get him out of that situation. That is rough. T-Lane now popping the Horrified, but really, they're trying to retreat here. And looks like Archaean going to save the day there with that. Stay a while and listen. Very nicely done on the retreat there. But that is going to give the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit the opening to just simply go back and get the boss. And wow, look at that wave. Idiom's going to have to go back and clean this up. All these ranged minions are dealing a ton of damage. Mid also pushing in a little bit, but not nearly as hard. The remnants of these untouched Webweaver waves. Now just a bunch of ranged minions. But we will see the boss and the turn-in here for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. And Chen is marching his way up towards the top here, as they are trying to at least protect their boss a little bit here from Rush B. Now the Webweavers are going to pop a little bit behind all of this. It's not going to come right in onto the core. But either way, everybody hitting the R buttons here. The swipe away as level 20s are now in for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. And Gul'dan going to be the first to go down. Stay a while and listen, trying to halt the assault, but it's not going to be enough. Growl the dog comes in, bites his head off there, and that is going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's going to go over to the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. Very well played. Bot Trump. Rush B doing a nice job of sticking with the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit through a lot of that. Playing it smart, trying to stay in the game, use those talent tiers to your advantage when you're on them, forcing fights. They just weren't quite able to execute. I feel like the dive potential was just a little bit too strong from the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, and it was very well executed when they did those dives with the Chen, with the Anubarak. The follow-up damage from Syl, the silences, well, and Greymane, I should say. The silences being put perfectly on there. The AFK healer all game long, hitting those lurking arms perfectly. We'll give you guys a quick look at their talents here before we mosey on over to game number 2. Alrighty. Well, we're going to take a quick break while we get that game number 2 set up. We'll be right back for game number 2 here. The Real Ultimate Mosh Pit versus Rush B. And in we go for game number 2. Cursed Hollow, one of my favorite maps in the rotation. One of the original maps came out when the game was released. Has stood the test of time. First pick, first ban going over to Rush B this time around. So we'll have to see what the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit has in store for us for this game. You know they're coming here with a plan. Kind of fits with their patient, macro-oriented playstyle, though, so I'm kind of digging it. Malthael and Anduin are the first to hit the ban chopping block here. Ana going to be taken out as well, once again. Pretty common bans for healers early in the game here. And we'll see New Girl taken out as well. From what I've seen, her mobility and her damage output are just too high to ignore. So I'm not surprised to see her just perma-banned. But that's the position I expect most people to ban her, is right there. I expect the first ban team to let it go through, and the second ban team to take it out upon seeing that the first team is letting it through. Meanwhile, Sylvanas first picked this time for Rush B. Meanwhile, Greymane Falstad is the answer. So we'll see another Greymane game for Raoul. With Synchrony going to be moving over to Falstad, so that should be an interesting switch. Of course, the global on this map is really strong. Meanwhile, Joanna and Tyrande coming out here. Tyrande scooped up before the next set of bans can really come in. So we'll see Hanzo banned out there as well for the side of the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. So saw that same ban last game. Again, very annoying to deal with on this map with all the poke ability. Mega Muffin says, I'm really surprised at how many teams are letting Raoul get the Greymane. Yeah. You know, it looked pretty good the last game. I'll have to keep an eye on it this game, but I would tend to agree with you off of just seeing that first game. It was very effectively played. And Greymane has definitely been coming up in the meta. You know, he was dead in the water for a while, but I think those auto attack changes have really helped him quite a lot. He's getting stronger and stronger as we explore this new meta more and more. Speaking of new meta, here comes Chen. New meaning like in the last few weeks or so. After that rework came in, and then the for some reason buff after the rework. I'm seeing a lot more Chen and Kael'thas as well now for Dominator. So a little bit of a shift here, and who's playing what. Meanwhile, Varian going to be picked up for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit to close out their draft. So again, that kind of dive heavy style that leans in towards Greymane and his style of attacking. Falstad also able to really aid in that dive potential, but also has a great benefit in his retreating ability with the Gust. His disengage ability. But you can't discount the poke damage potential again coming from Rush B this game. It's definitely a more poke-oriented map. If you could patiently play these team fights out. Not to mention they've got good CC potential and damage that can really back it up. So let's see what they've got here for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. Game number 2. Let's get on into Cursed Hollow. On the left, we have the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit with Thankstrom playing that Tyrael. We got Raoul the Dog on the Greymane, Synchrony playing Falstad, the AFK Healer on Malfurion, and Idiom's going to be playing the Variant. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got Rush B, Archaean, going to be playing the Chen. Fatlock is going to be on the Johanna. Dominator is going to be playing the...
5, 4,
is that the...
3, 2,
Is that?
1.
Oh, that's the Sylvanas skin.
Fight.
I got you. Great Potu, going to be on the Kael'thas. And Tylane on the Tyrande. Oop, not that one. There we go. There's your talents. So, unlike Game 1 where we saw the Q build coming out from Synchrony, we're going to see the that Shadow Dagger build coming out this game from Dominator. Right away, 5 stacks to start this off. Wingman coming out at level 1 for Synchrony. So we're going to be focusing probably more towards those Lightning Rod talents. It'll be nice to be able to get those extra camps as well fairly easily throughout the game. Fatlock looking to try and counter some of the CC potential with the Iron Bulwark at 1. So getting that lower cooldown for the Iron Skin. Dominator quickly going to the camp. Raoul the Dog a bit faster on that side. And they're going to capture it nice and early here so it can get pushing before the objective and help out Falstad. That's the value for when that is up in the top lane, but they are also going to send a couple members down here to get this rolling before the first objective as the counter push. Oh, and they are looking for the invade. They have figured out that the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit is here. Now they have outnumbered them pretty greatly. And yeah, Trump going to have to back off of this camp. Nice invade, nice grab by Rush B. And Kael'thas goes down in the top lane, however. So maybe getting a little bit too aggressive, trying to clean up this camp. And Synchrony is going to be able to take nice advantage out of that. And get, yeah, one of the cannon towers down in top. Very nice grab. Not to mention a little bit of an XP lead.
Gather tribute and earn my favor.
We'll have to see who goes up here. Arcane is actually pretty low here. Idiom's also getting kind of low. It's going to be Colossus Smash for Varian for this matchup. And with that tap, and actually Idiom's going to stay down to clear the camp. So Rush B is going to have a big man advantage here. Assuming they can get up here fast enough to defend it. I mean, they do have Dominator here who can Haunting Wave to interrupt the first one. Yep, and will do so. Archaean also here to defend. And yeah, they've got the numbers with Varian down bot. And they saw that. So now they're going to try and use that to their advantage. The root comes in onto Kael'thas to interrupt that first one. So both teams kind of poking out here early. And there is a lot of interrupt potential, but they don't get through to Kael'thas that time around. Very nicely done here by Rush B. And the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit just willing to give up that first one. Not a big deal for that first tribute to be able to clear out and make sure that this mid-camp doesn't get too much value. But really, that's a macro win. You gotta call that a macro win for Rush B. They're a little bit more patient with the camp. They got it while the objective was spawning, but they did have the interrupt potential to still rotate in time. And ooh, Dominator getting caught out here, and yeah, Synchrony gets the damage in. And that is a big pick right before the objective. Sylv is going to be up in time for this, but is going to be rotating in when this tribute spawns. So it's an opportunity for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit to get a bit of an advantage here, but they are a little slow on the rotate, especially Falstad. But Falstad does have the flight in, and I say that, but here they are ready to go. Arcane is, again, ready to interrupt, though, and Sylv is now back, so full 5v5 going to be coming in here as Falstad rotates in. No camps. Well, actually, one camp pushing up in the top lane, I should say, for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, so the whole map away, they're getting some value. Dive in there from Idioms, but Johanna goes down out of that dive. They almost made it back out. But the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit planting their foot in the ground and saying enough is enough here. Not going to give up the second tribute. And they're going to rotate immediately to the boss. They know that somebody was going to have to rotate to the top lane to clean up this mess. Dominator goes up, and so they know they are secure in getting the boss. No invade this time for Rush B. And now they've put Rush B in quite the conundrum. Do we clean up the boss in the bot lane? Or do we give a second tribute in a row? And give the tribute. And the boss, apparently. Dominator scouts this out, but it's going to be too late to do anything about it. Kael'thas and Tyrande all the way in the bot lane. And the shred from the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit is just way too strong. Nice root, trying to zone them out. And they're actually going to try and make this happen, but Sylvanas is going to go down. And the boss is captured anyway. Johanna goes down. Level 10s are now in, and this is disaster mode for Rush B. You have got a boss in the top lane with the push. You've got a boss which is now dead in the bot lane, admittedly. But boss chunking the bot. Meanwhile, the dive in and Shen goes down. Oh no! Tyrande goes down. Kael'thas goes down. And yeah, that is the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit diving in with the advantage that they got there. And making the plays happen. Very, very well done. And now they're going to be pushing in with the boss, getting the front wall before leaving. Still about half a level until we see Rush B with those level 10s. And the next tribute spawning in the bot lane here. Very quick rotation by the Trump boys.
Shall we see
Back to those camps. They're going to grab the bruisers on their way down to bot. Mid camp also grabbed by Rush B on the way down here, along with their level 10s. But pretty much all the ults are up. Twilight Dream going to be up in 10, so it'll be up a little bit after this tribute spawns. And the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit looking for that dive. They've got Sanctification to dive in with this if they are ready to go. Iron Skin has to be popped just so Fatlock can get in there to interrupt it. Big arrow coming out, gonna silence the team, but they turn around, they get the Sanctification down. Idiom's going in deep, does have the protected status, but is only gonna trade for the Kael'thas to start this fight off. Dankstrom getting poked low, Ral the dog going in there deep, trying to make something happen. Fatlock getting low and will go down. Ty Lane getting chased down as well. Worth noting that the curse was grabbed there, the flight over in Synchrony. Gonna try and put the damage into Arcane, and they get the kill. And now they are going for the sidewall. They're looking to keep immediately here. They don't care about this front wall. They want to get Raoul the dog on that keep, and they will. camp is still alive and pushing in the mid, though there's not much of it left. And they get the first keep of the game for the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit here. Quick bribe and out by Synchrony. Now it looks like they may rotate to mid as well here. Idiom's already here pressuring Dominator. And the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit picking up where they left off so far here out of game number 1. Painting the map blue. And slowly withering away at the defenses here of Rush B. They've now opened a path potentially to victory here in the bot lane. Their win condition is win a team fight somewhere in the vicinity. You have 5 Olm and you're close enough to bot lane, that'll win you the game with the comp that they have. They have so much siege potential. It's just a couple members rotating down just to get this vision. I love it. You know, they're not letting them have anything on the map right now for free. This is the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. And so now Rush B has no idea where they are. They could be literally anywhere on the map right now. They're going to rotate in and to get back their vision, but Bush Party coming in here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Okay, they checked the boss, but now they know they're here. Oh, Kel'Thas is in all kinds of trouble. Rotating away from Synchrony. They get the damage out onto him, trying to deter, but Idioms goes in onto Arcane there. Sanctification's popped along with the Earth, Wind, and Fire. Synchrony taking a lot of damage, but gets the Gust out. Ral the dog getting low. Idioms diving in on the Dominator. And somehow all of those heroics and everything come out, and nobody dies. That was actually a good fight for Rush B. Like they got a trap sprung on them there, and made it out alive. It was kind of the fight they needed to not only take but win here before level 16. And now with Sylph showing in the top lane, the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit feels free to rotate on in and get the boss along with this free tribute. But on the other side, we'll see Rush B answering with their own boss. And so a bit of a slow rotation by that owl. But Rush B will be fine, I do think. Gonna be a little bit close. Ooh! Closer than you like, for sure. And yeah, Arcane is gonna go down here, eventually. Stays alive for a disturbingly long amount of time, but that's Chen. But now the boss marching in the bot lane. This one's going for the well, and then directly for the core, so Rush B gonna have to answer to it fairly quickly here. And while Camp being stoled away in mid, they're not too worried about that boss up top. It's just beating down the gate, so no real value there. Well, boss will be taken down before it gets any significant core damage. Or any core damage at all, really. Meanwhile, the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. Grabbing the camps on the other side. Well, this top keep getting pretty low. They're gonna have to make sure they clear up here in top lane. The siege camp that's being picked up will take that keep fairly easily. Catapult already up top with a big wave. So if they don't clear this out, this will definitely get the keep while they're fighting down here over the trib. Meanwhile, they're looking around, trying to find Rush B in their rotation to bot. The Fatlock kind of scouting about. Gonna find where the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit is here. Here they come. Big damage onto Great Potu. Kel'Thas gets annihilated there. Big Wailing Arrow on the other side, though. Gonna keep them from all instantly popping here, but Chen goes down. Falstad falls on the other side, but in exchange for Johanna, The Dominator going to have to try to rotate away as Tyrande goes down. And the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit, it's like they're making a beeline for the core. As this could be the beginning of the end here for this matchup. Rush B has only Sylve to try and deter here. Idiom's jumping onto Dominator, and the core is slowly falling here. The shields are gone. Kael'thas is back up, but with 3 members still down, I just don't think they've got enough. Dominator porting around everywhere, trying to get something done. 20% on the core, and that is going to be it. Game number 2 and the series going over to the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit. GG, well played by both of these squads. But the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit coming out and just kind of proving they might be a little bit stronger, at least today. And they were playing really solidly throughout the game. And the stat sheet pretty much tells the story. 18-2. Not too long of a game, 15 minutes. So the Real Ultimate Mosh Pit making pretty good time. See if we can't reach out to our good buddy Dankstrom here. See if we can't get an interview. And Dominator putting out really good numbers on the other side. Indicative of the high damage that we see a lot of times from Sylve. Alright. Give him a quick call here. Hashtag authentication issues. Come on, Discord, you can do it. It's not like it's a collect call to Alaska. Give you guys a quick peek at these talents before we get into the interview here. And maybe even during the interview, who knows? Alright, looks like we're in the call, but no Dankstrom.
Hello.
And there's Dankstrom.
Yeah, sorry. My team's yelling at me. I had to get out of there.
Well, after a win like that, I would imagine everybody on the team is yelling.
Yeah, they were pretty happy with how that last fight went, so.
Yeah, for sure. Many collapses, many crisp rotations, and good macro play overall. Tell me a little bit about your crew and how you feel like you guys have been functioning so far this season.
Good. We had a bit of a rough start with the season with a lot of either people new to the team, new to a role, or returning after basically not playing for a year since the last year's announcement. So it was like 9 months off for a lot of them. So everybody's pretty rusty in the beginning of the season, but it seems to be coming together quite well, especially once we found a steady support player. We were swapping between 3 different support players at the beginning of the season. We finally found one that could make games, and that's been helped out a lot.
Well, there you go. All right, so taking a look at game number 1. You guys are on Tomb of the Spider Queen. You start to get a little bit ahead. Tell me about that first push up top and how you guys were doing against the heavy damage that they had in that rotation early in the game.
We're just gonna go to try to pop them for a lot of part. The Nubarak options and silence, because that was kind of how we're going to deal with Johanna. It's like, hey, she has iron skin, but she can't press her D button. She's easy to kill too.
Right.
Her silencer, any number of options. So a lot of it was just move the front line, kill something else, and just go out their face. And it worked out pretty well for us. Little things here and there, but mostly it went very well.
Yeah. Anything in particular you guys were worried about early in the game, whether it be like Leo with the Entombs, or anything in particular you guys were looking for?
We weren't too worried about Leo at all. Mostly was, hey, can we deal with the Johanna on the front side? Either get rid of her, kill her, or whatever we need to do to get to the back. Because if we blow everything and don't kill Johanna or tried to, and we don't get that, if we feel like they had a really good composition to try to turn that around.
And then we go into game 2, and I started noticing in the draft they were basically just stealing your comp from game 1. What's the deal?
Jealous much? I don't know. No, I think they took the Sylvanas Johanna, which I think is never a bad pick. So I'm not sure they were trying to steal it at all. They paired it with a Chen, but he's top tier damage and offlaner anyways. Can just solo really well. So I think they're doing their own thing. They weren't trying to steal ours. We have some contested picks between the two of us actually that were generally banned out. So we went to some other things.
Yeah, one thing I noticed that was not contested and was mentioned a little bit in the chat, Raoul the dog on Greymane. Tell me a little bit about this guy and particularly his Greymane play, which seemed pretty on point tonight.
It just kind of works. I mean, I'm not sure what to say because it's kind of a weird thing we just tried earlier this season. It's like, okay, well, if it continues to work, we'll just continue to play it.
Well, there you go. Nice and consistent play. And very nice win tonight. But before I let you go, any shout-outs you'd like to make?
Yeah, always to my brother Ralph the dog. You might notice whenever we lock in the same rotation, it's we don't even say anything, but we insta-lock at the exact same moment. It's just all the way from Alaska down to the East Coast. We still have that synergy going on. So
there you go.
That works really well. Also, when you play Tyrael Greymane, it just that works well. AFK Healer for coming up and filling in our support role for us this season. Joined us halfway through the season. That's been a great help. Idiom's kind of our drafter, and Synchron is just a guy I've played with for a really long time now, and he's swapped over to a new role in DPS, and so he's been enjoying that, and it's great. Everybody's having some fun.
All right, well, thanks for the interview, and congrats.
I got one more.
Okay,
I think there's a guy named Sven out in your chat that's rooting for us. Thanks, man. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see you in game.
All right, sweet. Well, thank you very much, Dankstrom. It's always nice chatting with you. And congrats on the win tonight. And hope to see you again soon.
Well, thanks very much for casting for us, Jay. You're always a great caster. I always appreciate it. And thanks for doing that for the community.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for me, folks. It looks like I am going to shift you guys over to Murda's stream. He is in the middle of Game 2. For Jailbait versus Minion Miners, so we'll even keep it in the same division for you, just so you guys can check out some more B East action. But before I go, let me do a quick shout out here for the Patreon. So if you love NGS, head on over to the Patreon. Check out all the cool stuff that they've got going on over there. They've got a lot of really cool patron rewards for all the different tiers. I always look forward to getting my player card at the end of the season myself, but they've got all kinds of cool stuff over there. And don't forget to check out the NGS YouTube. Don't forget to follow here if you want to see more NGS action, as I'll continue to cast games throughout the season, including some replay casts earlier, which were pretty fun. But until then, let me shift you guys on over to Murda. And until next time, for the Nexus Gaming Series, I am Jayzon, and we'll see you later. Have a good night.